Let me ask you a question. When you talk to friends, colleagues, neighbors, people in your life regarding this election, what is it that people say? What is it that people say? Everybody I talk to, and I don't mean people who associate me with Trump or who would say things that I agree with. No, just regular people will turn to me and say, "What the hell? Can you believe? Is it? Can you? What is?" That's what I'm. Have you noticed that? It's Kamala Harris. Years ago, there was a joke that people said, and I'll never forget it. And how far have we come? And it's emblematic of where we are today, ladies and gentlemen. And it goes something like this: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan. Okay. At the time, that was beyond funny. Then we met Sarah Palin. And then we met, well, remember, Joe Biden is not the way he is because of any other reason other than his own senescence. It's not because of he's stupid. I mean, they used to always make, Joe would screw things up and, that kind of thing. But nobody really ever thought Joe was stupid. Nobody really said, Joe's stupid. Al Gore, they thought was boring. It's a lockbox. Remember that one? You look and you see what the jokes are that are being made. Saturday Night Live. Have you seen this not Estee Lauder, Estee Patty? She's the woman who does her face is like rubber. It's the best. She captures the laugh of Kamala, the kind of a lovable cluelessness. I don't know what the word is. I'm not really sure exactly what it's called. But in our history, listen to me like you've never listened to me before. In our history, I mean, Sarah Palin is Ed Whitten compared to this guy. I've never seen anything like it. The easiest job in the world is to be somebody who says, "Hey, Jerry, do me a favor. Find some funny stuff on Kamala." Now, for most people in the business, this poor editor's got to sit there and go through miles of tape and hours of delivery, and they're waiting, and oh, by the love of God, and they say, "Come on, say something stupid." Nobody, not with her, because she's a blithering idiot. I just want you to understand something. I don't think you understand it. I don't think it really. I'm not saying it kind of like kids. You're stupid. No, I'm not. I'm not just throwing that term out. She is a moron of the nth degree. She is something that is a comedy writer could not have come up with anything like this. She is like nothing you have ever seen before. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you? She is like nothing she is like nothing you have ever seen or been through, or I don't even know what the words are. I've never seen anything like this. Never. There's no way to explain what she is. Nothing. It is that good. I don't think you understand this yet. Streaming analytics says physicist here. Nice Whitten reference. Oh, very good. Ed Whitten is oh my God. Have you ever heard his stuff on supersymmetry? Oh God. Oh my God. Terrence Tao, the mathematician. Ed Whitten got the Field Medal, and he's a physicist. He's not even a mathematician. Anyway, Field Medal, Fields. Now, I know you're worried. Who's worried? Raise your hand. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Who's worried? Who's worried? Come on. Who's worried? Tell me. Who's worried? Come on, you crazy, wacky people. Who's worried? Who's scared? Who's thinking, no, seriously, this is, she could win. Don't you understand? She could win. Yeah, maybe she could win. No, you don't understand. Dear God, she could win. This is, I don't know what's going on. She could, yes, she might win. She could win, theoretically, but yeah, but you don't understand. And people have this sense of absolute terror, the likes of which I've never seen ever exhibited. Do you understand this? Because believe me when I'm telling you something, give me someone who is smart, who understands what they're doing. Hillary Clinton, I will take in a heartbeat because I understand what she is. Yes, she's corrupt. Yes, she's vile. Yes, she's a psychopath. Yes, she's probably homicidal. That's beside the point. She's somebody I understand. Bill de Blasio was a commie, a leftist. I mean, a card-carrying, prototypical central casting, a guy who went to Cuba with his wife, the former, what was her name? Shirlane, who was gay, not anymore, and now they're not apart, and whatever it is. It's their personal life. But he was sincere. Bernie Sanders is sincere. Bernie Sanders says, I'm a democratic socialist. I don't know what that is, but I'm sincere. But Kamala is an idiot. And now let me ask you a question. Do you see where they're going after Doug? Doug Emhoff is the most boring. Doug Emhoff, whatever his name is, makes Harold Ford look like Rip Taylor. This is the most god-awful, boring man in the world. He's got that really kind of weird, screwy Emhoff. He's a Jewish man. He was born in, where is he from? He's from Brooklyn. He's 59 years old. And Doug is little Bob. Boring. And how these two, look, let me tell you something. There's one thing I'm going to tell you right now, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. I will never, ever question when people find love or find whatever it is. It's one of those things where you sometimes you can't believe that people are together. And you don't know how things work. I mean, if Mrs. L and I always laugh that if we saw on paper, if I could describe then kind of what I was, my traits and the like on paper, she'd probably think, no way. But it just goes to show you, when you meet people, you things click and that sort of thing. And plus, you got to be a saint to put up with me. But that's a different story. So I don't know, but can you imagine this one? Here's hey, I'm Kamala. Yeah, hey girl, how you doing, baby? Hey, baby. And then maybe she hangs the phone, then they talk like that. Maybe, oh my God. And then we should go back into some Jamaica man. She's just this protean thing. And then there's Doug. Yes, I'm Doug Emhoff, and I'm boring. How did that work out? How did that? Look, God bless them. I hope they're happy. Now, did you hear that Doug may have strayed on his first wife? Did you ever hear that? Come on. Did you hear that one? It's nobody's business. What is with these men and their nannies? What is with this? Everybody, Robin Williams, Joe Biden, and the babysitter. What is this stuff? Well, one of the Kennedys, remember the is it Joseph Kennedy? One of the Kennedy brothers who I've never seen anything like this. This is, I mean, what? The nanny You don't think they're going to find out about the nanny? But here's the thing, it's nobody's business. I don't care about that. Doug, don't worry about that. Nobody cares. Let me tell you one thing right now, and you listen to me. Don't you ever, ever try to explain, or excuse me, try to analyze moments of sexual violation and the like. Don't. You never know the circumstances behind it. You don't understand. I learned that a long time ago. You never know about somebody else, what they're going through, what's going on. I don't pass judgment on that. It's nobody's business. I'm not worried about Doug Emhoff. I'm worried about this Jadrul she's married to. This woman who's the dumbest person. Anyway, so then she says, I will not have a debate on Fox News. Trump wants it on Fox News. Trump's going to go in there. It doesn't matter. Trump's going to go in there and should say, I don't care if you go on a farm show, on an RF, Mayberry RFD, if Ken Berry were somehow asking a question. I don't care. Good morning, Des Moines. I'll go anything, because what he's got to do is he's got to destroy her. And he's got to destroy her. Did you see about old Josh Shapiro? Wrote some nasty things about the Palestinians. Whoa! There goes Minnesota. You know what I want, my friend? More than anything else? I wish somebody would say, that's exactly what I said, because I believed it then. Next question. Just say it. I said that. I believed it. You ever said something? I don't know if it's stupid. There are people who feel exactly. Bibi Netanyahu would agree 100% with what he said. All these Palestinians, they're war bound or whatever. Fine. This is the most important. This is the most incredible thing in the world. And I think, oh my God. That's why I told you. You've got to go after the Israel thing. You don't understand. I don't mean this when I say this. I don't care about Israel for purposes of this. I use it as a cudgel. She won't know. She doesn't understand the issues. Believe me, right now you think you would think she is going to be treated to some of the best briefings and lectures, and you would think this, but she's not. Now I heard some other stuff. You can't believe how people are coming up with this. This was exactly the plan. They knew this the whole time. Why those wily, those crazy, crazed, brilliant people who, I gotta just eructate it, pardon me. These people who do this. Like, what do you think of us? Don't you understand? This is all planned. This is all a part of the plan. What's a part of the plan? But Kamala Harris, they know exactly what this was. They had this. Why would they? It doesn't matter. But I know these people. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, I don't want to bring up Occam's razor. Occam's razor is one of those things that doesn't really, but it's one of those things that I don't know what the word is. It's used incorrectly. It's not what people think it means, but you got to ask yourself this question. Why would they do this? They're trying so hard, and they're scrubbing this from Wikipedia. They're scrubbing it. Don't you understand? They're scrubbing it from Wikipedia. Those bastards. What difference does it make? Who cares about what's in Wikipedia? Who cares? Scrub it, leave it, whatever. Nobody cares about that. I'm not going to vote for what? Well, just see what Wikipedia said? What? Who? Why do people think I'm not going to vote for him? Josh Shapiro? No way. Josh Shapiro? Well, why? He's the worst. What? It's one of those things. This frankly, it's one of those things that blows my mind. Why do people say it? I will tell you. They go on TV and they have to find something new. They have to find something to do. There's a whole contingent that says, well, what are we talking about? Well, I was watching this one, and ABC's talking about Josh Shapiro versus, well, we got to talk about that. We have to talk about that. Josh Shapiro. Who cares about Josh Shapiro? Eric Heffelfinger, ladies and gentlemen, says, I get this, off topic, my favorite. But what do you think of Vivek Ramaswamy? I like what he says, but not sure if we can trust him. He annoys the crap out of me. Personally, me, annoying. He's an acquired taste. He cannot be trusted. He wants to be the star. It's about him. It's about him. He's smart. He might have he might actually be good in some cabinet positions, as long as he understands you never, ever, ever outshine him. See where Elon Musk is working with him? I think it's fantastic. Trump. Elon Musk is as close to anybody in big tech that we can possibly trust. Possibly. He had a rally today, Trump and J.D. Vance with the rally. The rallies, I know you disagree with me. I don't even watch the rallies anymore. Do you watch the rallies? No. I can't even tell if it's a different rally. Is it the same rally? And I'm also telling you something, to be honest. J.D. Vance is no prize, but it doesn't matter. Do you want to go through these things? Let's go through them, right? Let's go through this. Let's go through. You want to go through the names of people that, what do you think about this guy? I don't know. The bottom line is I want Trump to win. And nobody's going to not vote for him because Vivek Ramaswamy is involved in such and such. This woman has to be crushed and destroyed. She has to be called out for being the fool that she is. And she has to, they have to come out. He has to do things. He is so polite. I would drive these people nuts every day. There would be this new segment, and it would catch on with such delight. People would run. They go, "Did you see Trump's? Trump's got a new one. He's got a new one just dropped. Well, what is it? This is great. There's a new one." And he comes on and he says, "Well, let me tell you what Hollywood's going to do, my friend. They're scared out of their mind. Let me tell you why. First of all, Hollywood's dead. The whole studio system is done. I mean, when Robert Downey Jr. is doing Captain America, Iron Man, whatever, 3, I mean, are you kidding me? 80 million, so they say. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you who it is. It's Reginaldo Villaon. Thank you, Reginaldo Villaon. That's the terrible. Reginaldo Villalon. See, sometimes my L's look at I. Maybe it's me. Villalon. Thank you. Reginaldo. Muchísimas gracias. Para ti, señor. Now, I don't even know what the hell I was saying. Oh. Trump has got to tell people every day. So, did you hear the latest? Hollywood's going to be backing Kamala. Yeah. You know who they got? Rob Reiner. Ooh, meathead. Wow. And they talk about me getting B-listers. Rob Reiner. What's the matter? Is Rula Lenska busy? Rob Reiner? Bette Midler? These has-beens. What was the last thing Rob Reiner did? By the way, I showed the picture of Rob Reiner in a Speedo. Did you see that? The most disgusting thing. Looks like he's smuggling grapes. You know what I mean? It's one of the worst. It is so horrible. It is so horrible. I don't think he ever commissioned this, but I would just show pictures of this. This guy is their A-lister, Rob Reiner. Oh, big ones too. Oh, Bette Midler. What year is this? What are you going to do? You're going to the bathhouse with Barry Manilow? What year is this? You're going to get the harlots? This is the best they can do. And George Clooney, would somebody please respect George Clooney? Would somebody say, no, George, you're smart. I read something today where George Clooney wants to be president. And that Amal, so let me ask something. Amal, who, by the way, hates spell check like you can't believe. She lives in dreaded fear of spell check, if you know what I mean. Okay? You got it? All right. So, my friends, this is the question that I have for you, which is very, very important. Very, very critical. What's it really going to take? What's going to happen? Number one, Can they steal this election? No, we don't know enough about the tabulations of this. The Trump should come out right away and say they're going to steal this because she can't win. Ladies and gentlemen, Freedom says Trump will destroy Harris in the debate hands down with actual facts of reality. She has no business running in any party, right, left, or center. Absolutely. Absolutely. But he's got to tell people they're going to cheat. Watch what they do. You know what they did last time. They understood Joe 81 million. And by the way, there's Trump, another one. Hey, Joe, where are you? Joe, are you okay? Can we have a welfare check? Is he at the White House? Is he at Rehoboth Beach? Is he in some root cellar? Is he all right? Anybody see him? Think about this. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him. We don't know where Jolton Joe is. We don't know where he is. Maybe if he did that, we could follow. You know what I mean? Follow. Untuffy. Can you spell him? He's that away. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. And then she's walking around. She's not saying anything because they're doing everything in their power. Everything in their power. They're doing everything in their power to make sure that somehow he's maintained. Now, Hollywood is done. Oh, I forget. Barbara. He should just go down the list. Barbara Streisand. Oh, for the love of God. Babs, you are an incredible singer. Where did you ever get the idea that you had the slightest indication of what the hell was going on as to reality? Same thing with Clooney. What are you talking about? Next, here's Trump. He comes out another one. So you hear that Carmelita is going through some training. Notice we're not hearing that laugh, that horrible laugh, that fingernail on the chalkboard laugh, that laugh that sounds like the last thing you hear before a knife is plunged between your shoulder blades. My pretty, scariest laugh. Can you imagine old Doug? Maybe that's why he's like that. Can you imagine in the middle of the night you turn over and you think, oh my God. Now just ask yourself the question, what it would drive these people nuts. And then you come on, well, they keep talking about abortion. These people have one thing, abortion. Now, I don't know how many times I got to tell them this, but I've said it and I'll say it right now. There's never been any move on my part or anybody that I know of to make a federal legislation to ban abortion. That's all they have. They think you're stupid enough to think that somehow we're just going to ban abortion in the United States where it's against the law, where women and doctors and nurses go to prison. Now, look, folks, you don't have to believe me. It's up to you. I know they say, I'm a terrible person. 34 convictions. Of what? I still don't know. And nobody else does. If you can tell me, you know what? Keep the convictions if you can tell me what they are. I don't understand. He should laugh every single day. Go after them. You can say, well, boy, how about that CNN? Is that bad or what? Well, they have to drag out old Donna Brazil. Dear God. How about Donna Brazil? I still want to see Donna Brazil and Harold Ford in a yell-off. Two of the most boring people in the world. But the bottom line is simply this. I told you before. You know this, correct? I told you, and I said to you before, that you have to look at the poll numbers. You have to look at the critical places, critical scenes, and find out how he's doing. And that's it. And everything else is a complete and total waste of time. Now, I know I like to listen to other people, and I'm not going to tell you which ones they are, but they say, you don't understand these people. First of all, they attribute everything to whoever's involved, the deep state or whatever it is. Mark my words, we're going to party like you cannot believe as to the debate. Let me ask you a question. Do any of you fine people believe, seriously, and please stop being so damn cute. Dan, Harold Ford is that bad. Dan, don't make me clear. Don't make me call you out, Dan. Harold Ford is that bad. He is a sellout. He is this supposed, we have a Democrat. He's a nothing. And the only reason why they have him on is he doesn't say anything. He's harmless. because he's boring. Get a Carville type or somebody, get a firebrand. Not somebody who's mean, somebody who gets along, but somebody who can maintain the position. Harold Ford is just dull. You know it, I know it, we all know it. I don't know why he's there. I don't watch that show. It's the dumbest thing. It's absurd. I don't understand. I seriously, I do not understand any of the Fox thing. I don't know why anybody even thinks this isn't even interesting. It's the same lame brains, this simple stuff. This stuff is so complicated. And I don't need to have people do comedy routines about how stupid she is. Yes, I understand it. But the issue is going to be this. How does Trump challenge this? And the real question is, do you think America is going to put up with this? Do you believe that the country is going to say, I'm going to vote for her, yes or no? That's the question. Spitfire, thank you so much. You think the public's going to buy this? Do you think the public's going to buy this? Do you think they're going to say, this is great? Or they're going to say, I don't care who it. Some people are. They're going to say, no matter what it is, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. That's it. Now, let's change this. Now, I want you to listen to me, too. And I hope you are listening to me. But first, Freedom says something good. Freedom says, I guess it was okay. Clinton had Lewinsky in the White Houses, and the Kennedy's boys had Maryland, had Monroe. But Trump has a fling with an adult star, and now he's a felon. Well, first, he claims that he never did, dusty saddles there. Do you believe that for a moment? Do you believe, seriously, do you believe that they didn't do it? Come on. It's funny. You're embarrassed. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't want, look, that's his business, what he does. Remember Al Gore? Remember when Al Gore was, I don't even know if he's still married to Tipper. I don't even see him anymore. He had a masseuse come to his hotel room, and apparently he might have gotten a little bit too excited with the whole idea. Anyway, there were some kind of problems, and later on they switched. Melissa Gates and Billy, I guess they're split up and they're doing it. I don't understand any of these things, and I don't understand again why it does. It doesn't even matter one way or the other. But I never believe that. I just don't. I know he said he didn't, but I'm thinking, you mean to tell me this woman comes to your room unless you're saying no, you don't understand. I never met this woman. Okay. But if you're saying she came to my room, we came in, but we didn't do anything, I say, no. Let me explain something to you. Women, you know this. There are some men, I'm not saying President Trump is, but John Kennedy, who have to have the conquest. They have to say, I got to have that one. John Kennedy was, they say, one of the worst, I hate this term they use, but one of the worst lovers of all time. Even an egg takes 3 minutes. It was so awful. People felt so used. Here's somebody who doesn't know that. Christo Stavros says, MAGA24 DJT needs a Jim Baker. No family in the mix. Please pray. I agree with you. He needs a Jim Baker. He needs somebody to help negotiate Congress. And J.D. Vance might be able to help a little bit with it. A little bit. But I agree. And now we have said, oh, hang on a minute. We have been saying this for years where he does need that. In any event. But there are some people, like I said, who respond to different things for different reasons. And I don't know why. And one of the things is there are some men, and Trump, like some people, they like to say, look at me with the babes. With Melania, I wish Melania would do something. I wish she would do more. I wish it would make a tremendous, but the point's moot. She's going to do what she wants, and I don't blame her. Maybe she's been hurt. Who knows? That whole process is weird. You don't hear about Barron anymore. Barron doesn't show up at these things. I don't know why. He's out of the picture. Maybe that's good. He's a young man and shouldn't be involved with this nonsense. Charlie Calais says, Joe and Cammie were on the tarmac the other night. She gave a salad about be careful with salad, about diplomacy. Yes, it was beyond horrible. And she should have had the position, or should have had the wherewithal to say something at least that had something to do with it. But let me go back to this whole thing about, and Women, you've seen this before. There are some men, there are some folks, you know who they are, who love the idea of they love the conquest and they love to target people. And they love to say, you're the one for me. By gum, I'm going to have you. I'm going to have my way with you. Why? Because I'm Superman and I'm a stud and people love me. It's the saddest thing in the world. And you ask yourself, why are you doing this? What is the purpose of this? Because I want to show people, look at me. I still have it. Let me tell you something. This may be. There are some folks, and ladies, you know this. You know what I'm talking about. But there are some people, men who go through a certain particular time of their life where they realize that, you know what, I need my validation. I don't have it anymore. The chickies don't, to some reason, some men, I'm telling you, will get to a point where they look at a young girl in their 20s and they realize that you are that girl's grandfather. They look at you as a grandfather, that you're not the sexy young guy anymore. People don't draw. I mean, unless you're Mick Jagger or something. And it really kills them. It kills them. It's this thing where I'm not viable. I'm not wanted. I'm not hot. I'm not a threat. That's one of those things where, the funny thing about this, and I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to tell, if you have sons, I want you to tell your son this. If you really, really wanted, if you really were interested in actually remaining viable, if that's what you wanted, if you wanted to attract the chippies and the chickies and the youngins, if that's what you really wanted to do, you know what you would do? You would be a gentleman of the first order. You would absolutely be, you would be the subject of respect and trust and admiration. And they would just never figure this out. Oh, yes, I understand if you're a rock star, you look whatever it is. But I mean, aside from that, for mere mortals, if you look at somebody and they look at you and the woman respects you, and I'm going to go back to something, I'm going to say something, and there's a particular theme that people do not want to understand or recognize, but I'm going to tell you. And it's called father. And I don't mean that she lusts for your father or thinks of you as a father. That's not what it means. It's a Freudian term that means the respect of a man as a man. And what's very interesting too is when we have the parents that we have, most of the time, we have a mother and a father. And they're the first people who figure out, who tell us how to deal with people of the opposite sex. And then we have, siblings, but siblings are like carbon copies of us. We really don't notice. Like if you have a sister or a brother and you're a kid and you really don't know these things. So what I'm trying to say to a lot of folks is if you really were trying to be the seducer versus the seductress, it might behoove you to just be nice. There's a wonderful thought. Okay. Now, moving right along. You're going to hear every conceivable poll. And the question you're going to have to ask yourself is, how long do they think they can keep her away? And they're going to try everything. They're going to say, we're going to try to scrub. We're going to scrub the internet. Scrub the internet. No. Once she is called stupid, that's it. Now, here's the calculus. Let's see if we can go through this. Number one, she is called stupid and it's manufactured through social media and the like. So when people who are Democrats don't like the Democrat because she's stupid, what do? Do they vote? No. Do they vote? No. They don't vote. They don't say they don't vote for Trump, but they may just not vote. They may say no. The most powerful, the most important and critical faith that you could possibly have in somebody is when you want them and you believe in them. Trump voters will vote. Republicans will vote en masse, in droves. They will do it. I promise you, because they believe in Trump. They believe in this cause. I told you this today. I told you this morning. Republicans have a list of stuff they believe in. Democrats don't. When a Democrat, if they like somebody, they liked Obama. And they might have actually, believe it or not, might have, before Joe got really bad, they might have liked Biden, but they do not like Kamala Harris. Let me ask you something, ladies. Ladies, how do you think women are going to deal with her? Forget Republican women. How do you think black women are going to look at her? Simple question. Will black women be able to identify with Kamala Harris? Haven't even gotten to the Indian part yet, or the Jamaicans, whatever. How do you think black women are going to? Do you think that American black women? I used to love this term in the old days. I called them negresses. I think it sounds almost exotic. Negritude. They refer to this. But do you think that African American women are going to feel any kind of a connection with Kamala Harris? Yes or no? I'm not talking about a few or so. I mean significant number. Do you think they look at her and say, that's the one. That's what, when we see her, we think African American. Do you? Do you think so? Do you think so? This is the thing, nobody will talk about this. Nobody will discuss it. They will not talk about favorability. So where is her base? Answer, they got to steal the election legally. Where is her base? Her base are going to be people who are going to vote for Joe Biden anyway. It doesn't really matter. So it's a wash. It's a zero-sum game. Nothing changes. So where are these new people coming from? Nobody is going to run and say, I won Kamala Harris. When I say nobody, I mean significant numbers. It's not going to happen. This is the most important thing in the world. The most important concept in the world. But I'm telling you, wait till the numbers really kick in. And you're going to find out this isn't going anywhere. And I'm talking about the inside polls, the actual campaign polls, the polls that cost $1 million to proceed. That's what you're going to want. That's what's going to be critical, not this other nonsense. Let me ask you this. Stop for a second. I want you to close your eyes and think what it will be like when they say it is the projected winner. Donald Trump has achieved re-election, tying Grover Cleveland and winning 2 non-consecutive terms. Her running makes cheating plausible. Interesting YouTube Sooks. Interesting. How will you feel? Always project, always think, what will success mean to you? Jump to the future, look at this and ask yourself, what does this truly actually really mean? What will that be like? What will you feel like? Because if you can't see that, it's not going to happen. RM, thank you. If you can't see that, it's not going to happen. You got to ask yourself this question. Do you really, and I mean this, and this is probably the most cephalogical question there is. Do you think it's possible? Do you really feel it? If you don't feel in your heart of hearts that Trump can win and win quite significantly, then we're wasting our time here. We're wasting our time. If you cannot believe this, that's not a good sign. George Lenn says Trump winning, it will be like splitting the atom. In terms of what the significance, the difficulty, see, I don't know. See, I interpret things differently than most people. When you write that to me, I'm thinking that can mean one of 10 things. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I'm not going to even discuss what it will mean like if she were to win, but you've got to ask yourself this question. It is going to be so many people secretly wanting him to bring us back to normal. Let me go back to what I said initially. And this is so important. This is the message. Do you want it the way it was 4 years ago? Do you want 4 more years of this? Do you want 4 more years of this? Answer the question. Do you want And remember, you remember what I told you during the debate? He's got to bring up Israel, and he's got to ask her flat out, do you think it's fair for a man to abuse a woman inside a boxing ring and then get a medal for it? Are you for that? Yes or no? Stop. Are you for that? And have her answer the question. Well, no, answer the question. Are you for that? Are you for that? Those are the issues right now that are top of mind for everything. Don't say economy. Don't say borders. Don't say that. Not everybody is people are tired of the issues. It doesn't have that same shock value. RM is saying, I'm an AA woman and I will never vote for Kamala Harris. She's a sorority girl to me. I'm an AA woman? Is it Alcoholics Anonymous? And I will never vote for Kamala Harris. She's a sorority girl to me. I don't know what that means, but it's interesting. I've been fascinated by, if that's what you mean, congratulations. If that's what you mean. I was listening to, African American. Sorry. You see what I do? I'm demented. I see AA, I'm thinking, she's an AA. What does that have to do with anything? Good for you. One day at a time. No, African American. Oh, okay. I prefer black. African American, I'm sorry, is one of those terms that nobody really uses. I'm sorry. I know people do, but it just takes too long. I just like black, white. I'm sorry. Shamalama Ding Dong is out to lunch. That is true, Pilgrim. That is absolutely true. Gloria Handley says, do you think the expected demonstration at the DNC convention will be significant? Like 1968? It did put a damper on their convention. The answer, Gloria Handley, is yes, they will be. And they will do everything in their power. I promise you. And Bibi says it's Iran. But you are going to see a cacophony, a veritable mélange, a pastiche, a myriad, a mosaic, a cavalcade, a retinue, a coterie of protesters from every demographic you can imagine. Freedom says they're going to cheat much worse than they did in 2020, no matter who the liberals put in. The mail-in ballots, dead voter issues have never been fixed. Trump 2024 or America is done. I hope you are absolutely correct. Or I hope that what you're predicting is not true, but you're spot on for thinking it. I will say that I turn to that again, Lara Trump, who wants me to believe that somehow she should be taken seriously as the head of the DNC, or GOP rather, GOP RNC. I hope to God she's paying attention to this. They know exactly how you steal elections. I mean, this isn't even. Watch Pennsylvania. And watch the biggest flop. I hope it's Josh Shapiro because nobody cares. I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to make some statements. Okay, ready for this? Okay, listen to what I'm saying. And to our AA friend, let me give you the word on race. Nobody cares about race. They care about class. What class are you in? And do you is the difference a class struggle or is it a racial struggle? It's a class struggle. I will watch sometimes. I told you I love YouTube, and I love people getting arrested. It's soothing to make me realize I understand why people are so crazy. And there are some people, there are some blacks and whites, but there are some blacks who have absolutely no connection whatsoever to reality. Not only that, I can't understand a word they say. Okay. Is that a racial thing? No. It's a class thing. It's class, education. It's not a race thing. Because I see the same thing with white people too. Why am I saying this? My theory is this. Americans don't care about race. Jim Crow is dead. People want it to be race, but when people have a problem with race, it's not race. It is class. It is class. That's all. We were talking one time. Remember in the old days? This might be before your time, but during the 60s, there were things called urban renewal and efforts to not gentrify, but move black folks into cities. And when Newark spread of the riots and all this stuff, there were people who said, I don't want to live in a black community because that will affect property values. Have you heard that one? Remember that? Have you heard that? Do you think that it affects that a multiracial distinctions areas affect property? I'm being brutal. I'm just asking a question. Do you think there's any truth to that? Do you think that if you have an area that's all white versus mixed, that and let's assume they're for the most part same kind of structures, do you think there's any difference in the marketability of it? Yes or no? Do you think, not that there should be, not that that's fair, not that that's right, do you think there's a difference in marketability? Ask somebody in real estate. What do you think? What do you think? Now, if somebody said, we have a black family living across the street. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, Denzel Washington. Oh, hey. That changes everything, doesn't it? Yes. I had a friend of mine one time who's a private dick, who was a private dick. Burk. You know what this is? Burk, burk, burk. It's a 3-speed dick. So I would ask him one time, tell me some tips, and he said, if you're looking to buy a house or do an area, I want you to go there, or he'll send him out there and go there on a Saturday night around 11 o'clock, 11:30, go through and see if they have parties. Because in addition to this idea about black people moving there, you want to find out, are there families with kids, teenagers? And when somebody says, what if you found out there's Asians? See this, nobody wants to deal with this. Ask people in the real estate business. They hear this all the time. They say, Asians are very quiet people. Why? People want quiet. They don't want to make racial statements. Edie Crowley says the Olympic boxer Victor was declared female at birth. Nevertheless, the issue is about ethics, not designated sexuality. Separate category needed. Oh, absolutely. And don't forget, Edie, don't forget, one of the things which is the most interesting is that when it comes to his gender, if you will, there are people, Edie, who if they're 1 pound off, 1 pound off, they're disqualified. But I want to talk more about this race business. I want to talk about this. I think this is to me fast. What difference does this mean? Skin. Nothing. You're black. I don't care about that. It depends on who you are, not your race. Margin of error equals margin of cheating. Pops was too far out of that margin. Unless DJT can be up 5+ points heading into the general election, a steal is possible. That's called too big to rig, my friend. Too big to rig. I'm going to stick back with this thing. Do you think Kamala Harris is identifiable as the first African American? Do you, when Barack Obama won, you said, oh yeah. And people said, well, do you think he's black? Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. We feel good about this? Yes. Is he a black man? Oh yes. Yeah, but his mother's white. I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. Remember that? You looked at him. He identified with him. You said, that is a black man. I'm proud he's our president. Whatever it was. Now, look at Kamala. When you see her, what do you say? Is that a black woman? I guess, sort of, maybe. Yeah. Nobody really wants to talk about things. See, What I want to talk to you about is verboten. In our world of pretending about race, I'm just a realist, to use the Mearsheimer term. And I ask people, I said, let me ask you a question. Do you think that if Barack Obama looked like Yaphet Kotto, remember him? Would that make a difference? Would he be? And you could argue whether somebody's attractive or not. Let me answer this question. What if the president was a former NBA player, like 6'9", 6'10"? Would that be okay? Would that make a difference? A black, tall president. Would that make a difference? What do you think about that? Just Jules says, watching from Ontario, Canada, and most here over the border feel without Donald Trump, your country is doomed. We have Trudeau. Enough said. Yes. Oh, God bless you, Canadians. God bless you, a boot. I'm glad that you're a boot the hoose. Sorry to do that. See, I nobody wants to talk about, well, what do you mean? Like, first of all, I said, can you have a JD Vance has a beard? I guess that doesn't matter anymore, but it's like, yeah, that's kind of weird. We haven't really had a beard, any facial hair before. John Bolton. What if somebody doesn't? What if somebody is faintly? For example, this is a question I have. And nobody ever wants to talk about this, but I do because I love it. I have a device, and I put it. It's kind of like one of those auditing things in Scientology. I put this device on your finger. It's a plethysmograph or some type of device that studies whatever tumescence or turgidity or whatever the hell it is. It just measures stuff, and it measures your sense of reaction. Here's a situation. This is my experiment. Doctor's office for the first time. It's like a clinic. You don't know who you're going to get. Whom you're going to get. First doctor walks in. White guy, 60 years old, maybe white hair, white coat. Good evening. I'm Dr. Sullivan. You look at the reaction. Okay, it was a good reaction. People got it. Ooh. White people reacted. Black people reacted. Women reacted. Men, they like that because that's a doctor. Looks like a doctor. Good. Okay. Same situation. Same age. Woman now. Now, gynecologist, different story. OBGYN, different story. But men, others might say, I don't know. I'm just telling you, I don't know. Okay. Let's do it for every permutation. Black man, black woman. Older black man, younger black man. Asian, South Indian. There are people who will not ever tell you something, but they will look. If their doctor came in and you said, we got some serious, and this doctor came in and he was Chinese, I know people would say, now is that racism? How is that racism? If they say, oh, I prefer Chinese. I feel like they're very smart people and I feel much better. Is that racism? It's positive. No, you can't. You can't. Like, why? You can't. Notice how we love British accents in this country. We love British accent. British accent is not that terrible. Dick Van Dyke Cockney. Oh, blimey, governor! That kind of no. But if someone comes in to look at your particular problem and notice the extravasation rate of your lipid profile, you say, oh, that's good. Now, if a doctor came in and he talked like that, see, what you've got is a thing called platysmal dehiscence, see? You would think, why? Let me stop. Because you're reacting. Not out of hate. Not out of ignorance. Not out of prejudice. You're being, nobody will ever ask these questions. Your daughter or son are announcing that they're going to get married. And is anybody going to ask? And your daughter or son comes to you, you don't know this, but they walk in the door and their spouse or mate is the opposite, or a black. If you're white, they're black. If you're black, they're white. Whatever it is. What do you think the reaction in that would be? People have been conditioned to accept many things. That is true, George Lenz. That is very true. And conditioned to reject things as well. Most people would say, I'm not happy about this. I mean, I'm not gonna put up a stink. But people honestly would say, I don't know about this. This is I'm not crazy about this at all. Now, is it racist? Now, does that mean because you're going to say because you know what people are like, people are strange, whatever. What I'm trying to show you is these are reactions that are not racist. They're reactions that are just preference. My favorite is this. If my son came to me and said, he's gay, would I say, get out? Of course not. You'd say, you're my son. I love you. That's it. Your sexuality has nothing to do with this. You can't absent yourself from my love or our parentage. Don't worry about it. Whatever, we're with you 100%. You will always be our son. We love you no matter what. Now, am I happy about this? No. Am I homophobic? Answer my question. Am I? Do you understand this? This is the thing which is the most important. Nobody will ever talk about the way people really think honestly. They're honest to God, their gut feelings. I am a behaviorist. I love to see how people react to things. I love to see how people react to products, to a lot of things. The way we inadvertently, the way we how do I say this? The way we react to so many things. John Kenneth Galbraith was like 6'8", The Economist. Canadian, by the way. I think he was Canadian. But 6'8". And Bill Bradley, very smart, professional, play for the Knicks, 6, whatever it was. Athletes, jocks, sometimes are not always held in the highest esteem when it comes to their intellectual prowess. Is that fair? I don't know if it's fair, but is it reality? That's reality. What I'm trying to say is simply this. I don't care why you think something. I'm not trying to change what you think. I want to know what it is. And I want to work accordingly. I want you to tell me how you react. And I know that nobody is looking at Kamala Harris and saying, she is my ideal candidate. She is wonderful. And no, I'm not voting for her just because she's running against Trump. I'm voting for her because I think she's the best person. There is nobody thinking or saying that. Nobody. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that. She knows this. Everybody knows this. The Democrats. And how this one particular guy and this one commentator thinks that this was deliberately contrived, organized, planned, arranged, deliberately. It makes no sense. These people are crazy. They could have had, it doesn't, whoever's the Democrat, they're going to hand them the pen and say, sign this. We have the next, that's why they talk about Project 2025. They've got the next 25 years blocked out. Doesn't matter who it is. So they can pick anybody they want to win. They could pick, oh my God, they can groom someone. But Kamala Harris, it was a joke. And Saturday Night Live must be going crazy knowing they can't make fun of her. It must kill every comedy instinct in them to not jump on this immediately. That's that. All right, dear friends. Let me ask you something. Everybody says, ask Willie Brown about Kamala. Why is Willie Brown and Kamala so important to you? Answer my question. Is it because it's just of a sexual matter? Is it because potato chips, OE? Is that a Dan Quayle reference there, Knothead? Why is there such a fascination with Willie Brown and her sexual hijinks or shenanigans before? Why? Why? And by the way, I warn people, Kamala is eligible under the Constitution to be POTUS. Yes. Yes. That's already been. I don't understand how Ted Cruz was. Ted Cruz wasn't even born in this country. Well, his parents were, but he wasn't born here. He was born in Canada. Kamala Harris was born here in Oakland. She's an American citizen by virtue of the soil. But what is this? Gonzalo Lira, indeed. What is it? I hate to tell you, Blister Bill, but you're wrong about that. I don't understand how. Good luck. Let's go to court, and I want to hear it. You go first. Explain to the judge why. Was she born here or not? She's not naturalized. She was born in Oakland. What do you mean she's not naturalized? She's born in this country. What difference does it make? It doesn't make any sense. Naturalized. She was born in this country. That's it. Period. End of discussion. How about this? If somebody, let's assume, let me ask you a question. Let's assume that Kamala Harris were born and she was left, or put it this way, she was, how do we say this? What if she was left on the steps of an orphanage? I don't know if we have orphanages anymore, but what would that status be? Is it possible for us to know when? I mean, if also in vitro fertilization, do we care about where the parents are from? But if you're born in this, where is one born? If you are born in Mount St. Joseph's Hospital, Tampa, Florida, boom, it's on your birth certificate. You are an American citizen. Period. Period. And this business about, well, your parents have to be. No, absolutely not. Nope. Because I don't think Barack Obama's father, well, the putative father, that's not it. The framers, I like the way you always write, by the way, Blister Bill writes in these big capital letters, the framers put the NBC requirement in the Constitution to prevent foreign intrigue in the highest office. Yes, that's why it's also important to have natural born citizens here, born in this country. You better believe it. Born in this country. And it was difficult too because some of the original founders, our forebears, were how do I say this? They were not born in this country. Frank Marshall Davis. So anyway, that's it. That's all. And by the way, I'm just going to tell you one thing. I have always loved these people who say, you don't understand, she's not eligible. Well, go ahead and do something. Well, she's not, but there's nothing in the Constitution that makes you pay income tax. You ever meet these people? Go ahead. You don't understand this. It doesn't matter. It just, I'm trying to think of, let's assume there was a baby left on the doorstep of a convent, hours old. Let's say there was the placenta had not, the umbilical cord hadn't even been tied, whatever it is. And you could say, circumstantially, they had to be born here because this must have happened. A doctor could testify less than an hour ago. So it was born, let's say, in Detroit. It was Detroit Hospital. But we don't know who the parents are. Are you saying that person cannot be president? Is that it? Do you understand that? It's one of the things which is the most important. Anyway, it's a fascinating session. We will continue tomorrow, my friends. We will continue. George Lenz, thank you so very much. Just Jules, thank you. And my dear Canuck friend, my Canadian friend, thank you so much. Soul 76 Can, Edie Crowley, everybody. Freedom, Gloria Hanley, Pilgrim Media, RM, George Lenz, YouTube, Sukes, George Calais, Christo Stavro, the embodiment, the avatar of Leonard Barr. Most people don't know this. Spitfire, thank you. And Reginaldo Villalong, thank you. And Eric Heffelfinger, thank you as well. Streaming Analytics, our physics friend, thank you as well for that. All right, dear friends, we will see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Have a great and a noble and a wonderful day. It is always such a pleasure to meet with so many great and smart and glorious people, and you as well. That was a joke. All right, kids, see you tomorrow morning. Have a great, don't forget, subscribe to Lionel Nation. Lionel Nation, make sure you still subscribe. Don't forget Lionel Legal. Lionel Legal, that's our sister one. And Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. We will talk soon. And don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Tete.